shucks. Okay, so the mic is live. Maybe. Go ahead and make the effort. That's what I want to do.
Where, oh where is my...
That's some cool shoes.
Oh,
Damn, you're going to be dancing in those tonight?
yeah. I was like, well, dancing, because second floor is not up, so. Did I not? I had to have. I did. Okay. Let me actually repack all of this. This is my point in the day where I start saying, goodbye, boy clothes. I'll miss you. Okay.
Is he recording?
Yeah, I think he's rolling.
I'm pretty sure he is, yeah. He is.
Well, let me know whenever you're ready to talk.
Oh, I'm ready. I can do this and talk.
Oh, yeah?
I'm
Tell us
talented.
how you started doing drag.
That's the typical gay boy story. I did it one Halloween and I really, really liked it. But that's just not the end of my story. Actually, I did it on Halloween and that was the only time I would do it. And then all of a sudden, one of my roommates took me to, was it the drag show or it was a drag competition. It was when Tina Burner was doing Tranimal Tuesdays at Posh on 51st and 9th. And I said, they're like, you should go in drag. I go, it's the finale. And so I got up in drag, which it was a wig, a pair of really, really tight pants, a cute pair of heels, and some clothes from Conway because they were very popular at the time. And went to this finale, and I was like, oh, that's fun. I'll do the next round. And then I went out when they started the next cycle, and I competed. There was only me and Brenda Darling there. That was the first time I met Brenda Darling and Tina Burner. And I competed, did like 4 costume changes, didn't wear pantyhose at that time because I was really feeling my fantasy and spray tanning my legs and all of that foolishness. And I won, and that's the one time I can honestly say I beat Brenda Darling. Since then, I have been, like, she's been one of my best sisters. I have 2 main sisters, drag sisters, well, actually 3. Brenda Darling, Prodigy Major, and when I get to see her, Miss Logan Slaughter. Logan Hardcore, sorry. And every time I get, like, they're the type of sisters who, especially in this community, it is hard to find girls like them who are, you know, just so genuine and so sweet and nice. And instead of, like, you know, throwing shade at every single girl in our group, we work hard to build each other up and not tear each other down. Like, Prada is like our mixed girl. All 3 of us choreograph. Me, Brenda, and Prada. We've all taught dance classes. We all choreograph. But Prada's like our mixed girl. She puts all the mixes together. We do, like, whenever we have a competition coming up, she's like, let me hear your music. Okay, I'm going to fix this. And she fixes it. And we just all contribute different stuff, you know, to our little small I call us a small little family. We call ourselves DMV, Darling Major Valenciaga. And I actually consider them closer than a lot of girls, than a lot of my actual family members, which I know is shady, but These girls have been there for me in some of the toughest times when I've called my own family members. It's crazy when you can find people who are, you know, more faithful to you than your own family members. It boggles my mind. But then you realize they're sent there for a reason.
Is your family supportive though?
My mom is. And honestly, to tell you the truth, my mom's the only one I really, you know, care if she cares or not. But she's the kind of woman where she supports me in everything that I do. She's the person who's like, just as long as you don't hurt nobody or you're not in any porn films, I'm fine. Do what you need to do to pay the bills. Well, not anything, not even prostitution, which I'm so thankful for, because there are a lot of people and a lot of queens in this city who they have to hide it from their parents. I talk openly about it. I even send her pictures of me in drag. Like, hey mom, this is my look for the night. She's like, oh, well, look at you. She sent me a picture. It was like, I think last year. She's like, well, no, I sent her one of my headshots. She goes, you look like Jada Pinkett Smith in this picture. I go, thank you for saying I look like a woman. Thank you. She goes, no, I'm just trying to say she looks like a man. I said, oh, shady. So that's also something I got honest from her. She is one of the shadiest women that I've ever known. And I thank her daily for it. She's a very witty woman. And I'm so blessed that she's my mother. She had asked me a question. She's like, would you want anybody else as your mother? I go, like a famous person, this, that, and the other. I was like, honestly, no. I couldn't see myself being born into money, truthfully. Because I wouldn't have had to work as hard as I did to get to where I am now. I mean, looking at it right now, it doesn't seem like much, but it's a lot to me.
Does she come to see you perform?
Well, she can't come see me perform because she still lives in Missouri. And
She doesn't come to New York?
the thing about that is, it's a lot of hills, and it's hard for her to walk sometimes, especially like with my apartment. I live on a high hill, and I don't want her, you know, going through the stress of trying to walk up this big hill and be winded and have to worry about her all the time. It's like, I don't like that feeling. I like to know she's on a level plane, safe, where she can't really get hurt. And this city can be too much for her sometimes. Well, it can be too much for me sometimes, and I can only imagine what she goes through when she gets here. But I told her when I booked that first Broadway contract, I'll be flying her out here. We will not be walking anywhere. We will be grabbing the nearest cab because I want her to have the best time ever. I am the biggest mama's boy you will ever meet. And there is no shame in my game because it's been me and her since I was 8 years old. We support each other.
What about the rest of the family?
What about them?
You said she's supportive and so they're not?
They are. You know, they'll comment and they'll like my posts and this, that, and the other. But I also think back to a time when I was living in Missouri, and as much as I hate to say this, my family, yeah, you can close that. My family liked to play favorites. And, like, it's so funny because me and my mom talk about it all the time. It's like, I was the kid in theater. All the other kids did sports. They were the academic kids. They were just everything besides theater. Theater was not a way to make a living as far as some of them were concerned. So they would put their energy towards the other kids who were doing the academics and this, that, and the other. And I look back on that now because I'm the kid who moved away and stayed away. I didn't go back to my mom's place. I made it out here on my own, and I'm doing my own thing. And she tells me daily how proud she is of me. And that means so much because at the end of the day, when I'm having those days where I'm feeling just like nothing's going my way, I have her words saying, hey, you're doing it. You're doing what a lot of people in our family wish they could do. And it's an eye-opener, and it helps me to realize that I need to keep going, doing what I need to do to stay here. Because at the end of the day, this is where I need to be. I was like, I don't expect to be doing drag forever. I expect to have a Broadway contract sometime in the near future and, you know, be able to come out and do this as a hobby. And I understand this is a lot of girls' livings, but I used to work at Magnolia Bakery, and I would work all these long hours, and I would miss auditions. And at one point, my mom, she screamed at me on the phone. She's like, let me tell you something. Well, actually, no, she didn't scream at me on the phone. She talked to me firmly because I'll never forget it. It was New Year's 2000 and I think we're going into, I don't fucking remember. But I had a rough night working at Magnolia, and I was like working doubles to, you know, try to just make the ends meet and pay bills. And the manager at the time, who I could not stand, it was just my final straw with her. And she started arguing with me, and I started arguing with her. And so she called our main boss, who had been waiting to fire me. But she wouldn't fire me. She couldn't fire me because, A, the owner's wife loved me. I was that gay. I was the gay who would come in and make floral arrangements. I'd decorate the chalkboard and tell it what specials we had, this, that, and the other. And she thought that I was just going to move up in the ranks and replace her. I was like, girl, it's interior design. I'm not going to turn into a manager. Chill the hell out. So this was her moment to finally fire me. She fired me over the phone, which I believe is illegal at the time, or was illegal at the time. I don't remember. And I called my mom in hysterics. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do about a job. She's like, okay, first of all, you need to calm down. Are you calm? I go, yes. She's like, you did not move to New York City to ice cupcakes and work at a fucking bakery. You came there to be on Broadway. So you need to calm down. And I was like, then I realized, oops, I'm getting ready to go on a contract out of state. Why am I worried? She's the woman who helps me think, hey, it's not the end of the world. Chill out, center yourself, think logically, and keep it moving. So that's what I have to realize here, especially with drag. Jada will always be around, but I did not come here to be a famous drag queen. I did not come here to be on Drag Race or to get noticed or this, that, and the other. This drag is my creative outlet. I may not be on a Broadway stage yet, but every day I'm getting into makeup, I'm becoming a different character. I can do whatever I want with Jada. There's no limit to what I can do. And there will always be a spotlight, and there will always be music. So this suffices until I book that Broadway contract. The more that I keep that in mind, that's the main thing that keeps me going some days, because there are some days I wake up and I go, are you kidding me? And then I realized, okay, this is not the end. This is just the beginning. You got to wait. And Lord knows, I have so many friends in Broadway shows right now. Once upon a time, I would be upset about it. Once upon a time. But you can't look at someone else's blessings and expect to get your own. So I see my friends who are on Broadway and I go, good for you, bitch. You did that. You did that. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud to know you. I'm so blessed to know you. And I keep it moving because I know, may not be now, may not be later, but I'm going to have my chance. And that's worth waking up in the morning.
Does it bother you that there's not a lot out there for your type?
Sometimes, because I was like, how many more times do I have to see a tall white boy sing center stage in his spotlight? But then I realized it's his moment. Some people are going to have about 5, 6, 7, 8 moments before I finally get my one. But when I do get my one, nobody's going to be able to take it from me. And I guarantee that one. So I sit here and I go to auditions and I patiently wait. I don't get upset if I don't get it because I go, okay, it's not meant to be yet. What will be, will be. Notice this nasty, dirty towel that I have to wash, full of makeup.
What are those auditions like?
It depends on which audition it is. Sometimes I enjoy looking at girls' auditions because it is one of the funniest things ever. This may sound racist, but there's a distinct difference between walking into an audition full of white girls and then, period, just walking into an audition full of other people. Because there can be some white girls that are in that audition room that will size you up. Don't matter who you are, it is a competition for them. Like, literally, I'll walk in and they'll be like, relax. We ain't even going for the same part, let alone the same show. Chill. But it's just that competition and that hungry mentality. With me, like I said, I've learned that we all bring something different to the table. And you can't focus on what somebody else is doing. You got to do you to the best of your ability. Sometimes you is what they want, sometimes not. But you can't let it affect you or affect your stride. You got to keep moving. End of story. Oh, and the shaving stuff is back there. Okay, I have to shave.
Please.
So, you want to take this?
Oh, you're gonna. Oh, yeah.
I don't want to get it wet.
Just shaving, you know.
It's like, there's a lot that I have to shave. Well, not a lot, just my chest and my face. Shut up. I already shaved my legs today.
Okay, I'm good because I got to swap out these batteries.
Y'all. Us.
Ow, 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 ow. Ugh, ow.
Why are you doing drag?
It's basically the same answer. I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it for my creative outlet. Because, let's face it, if I didn't have drag, I would be probably already back home in Missouri. Not just because of finances, but because I wouldn't be able to express myself in the manner that I know I need to. And let's face it, drag queens can often say whatever the hell they feel is on their mind. That's me anyway, but I get away with it when I'm in a wig. Hell, I get away with it because I'm 5'3".
Does it give you extra confidence boost too when you're in?
It is an extra confidence boost, in a manner of speaking. Okay, I need you to go center. I was definitely not like this when I first moved here. Jada brought something out in me that I probably would have let lie dormant for quite some time. Contrary to popular belief, I used to be the nice one. I used to be the one to let people take advantage of me, which is also where Jada comes into play because she taught me how to say no.
Is there a big difference between your personality in and out? Okay.
No.
Was there?
There was, at first. There was definitely a big difference. Until I realized being sheepish is not going to get you what you want in the long run. If you want something, I taught high school kids and elementary school kids, and I would do these musicals with them. Oops. And they're like, well, I want this, I want that, but I'm just so. I was like, you're just so what? You're thinking you're not good enough for this or you're not good enough for that. If you want something, you got to go take it. Okay. And then I realized, well, shit, I need to start practicing what I preach. And Jada helped me do that. Not a lot of people will ever have the kind of outlet that I have because they're too afraid to do it. And I mean, I've been mugged and dragged before here in New York City. But you can either choose to let it stop you or you can build on it. Ooh, that's the look. And I chose to not let it stop me. And that's another thing about, as much as people bark about our community and we need to get together as a community, blah, 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 the moment that people heard that I got mugged, everybody came together. Everybody started inboxing me, girl, do you need some makeup? I can get you a discount on this. Do you need a gig so you can pay for some stuff? Here you go, blah, blah, blah. I love my community. It may not always seem like I do, because half of them get on my goddamn nerves, but I do love them. And they are family. And we stick together. Because that's what communities do.
What's your experience with being bullied and heckled?
It was a way of life for me in high school. But that's where the whole theater thing came into play. It was when you grow up in Kansas City, Missouri, and you're a gay, I had 3 strikes against me. I was gay, I was black, and I was a male. And it was not exactly a walk in the park every single day. But I knew there was one place I could always go to, and that was the theater. And so I spent a majority of my time there. Wound up holding an office my senior year in the theater department and in the choir department. I stuck with people that I knew made me feel comfortable, that I knew weren't going to judge me for who I am. I can't even say what I am. Even though my choir teacher, she used to call me a humanoid. because I was one of the busiest kids in the school. I was one of the busier kids in the school. When I wasn't getting ready for contests, I was choreographing for our show choir and for the junior varsity show choir, and then I was also doing theater on top of that and getting all these other things together, and I just stayed busy. But my mom says it every day. She's like, I'm so glad that you stayed busy because you didn't have time to get in trouble. And I didn't. It's like, hey, you want to go out to the park? Why would I want to go to a park at night? B, I got shit to do.
What kind of trouble did people get in there?
It was the typical, it was Footloose, basically, but in Kansas City, Missouri. They would just tag stuff, go out smoking and drinking, and I was like, that's not what I'm in the mood for. If y'all think for a second that I'm getting ready to hang around after we graduate and work at Price Chopper or Food Festival with all of you, you are sadly mistaken. I'm hopping my black ass on the first plane that I can catch, and I'm headed to New York. Because Daddy's got things to do, and you will never hear me reference myself as Daddy. But at that point, there was no Jada, so.
How did she get created?
You know, actually, I don't know. It was just from my friends saying, you should do it. You should try it one time. Isn't that how it always happens? You should try it one time. And then what started off as a hobby turned into a job. And I'm so blessed and thankful for it because there were plenty of hard times where I would be looking for an actual job. But I'm like, how am I going to pay this bill? A gig would pop up. And I'm like, yes. So I've never been, it wasn't until I started doing drag that I actually felt stable for what that's worth, because drag is not stable under any circumstance.
How do you mean?
You never know. If you're new to the scene, you never know where your next gig's coming from. Or if you have your weekly night party, you don't know when it's going to end. They could come in and be like, you're not making enough money. Your party's done. This is your final night.
You've seen that happen?
Oh, yeah. It's actually happened to me once before. And I was actually in Florida for a friend's birthday when I got the message saying, yeah, so the party's canceled, blah, 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 blah. I was like, and it was no skin off my nose because it was a Wednesday night. I was like, oh, great, an extra $100 so I could do the party here and then I can just go to the Real Deal and do my regular shift. So it was really no skin off my nose that the party ended. And it was like pulling teeth at that party anyway. But then the promoter went so far as to try to blame me and throw me under the bus as to why the party ended. In a private, separate text message. He didn't do it in front of a group of people, because had he done it in front of a group of people, it would have been a completely different story. But he's like, yeah, the main reason is because this person said this, and that you were this, that, and the other, and that you did this, and you also did this, that, and the other. Maybe I wasn't clear on when you did this. I was like, okay, what you fail to realize is, if you want to try to put all this blame on me, because last I checked, everybody was having a damn good time when I was doing what I knew to do. It ain't got shit to do with me. It has shit to do with the fact that running a party in New York City takes effort from not just from the queens. It does not just take effort from the queens. It is a group effort. You have to have, well, first of all, party promoter has to promote. Your DJ has to promote. Your go-go's have to promote. Your drag queens of all people have to promote. Everybody has to promote. If you don't promote, how's anybody going to know about the party? Oh, they're not going to, because it's nowhere to be found. So it was almost like a slap in the face. And there are underlying reasons as to why I think he tried to throw me under the bus about it. But I ain't gonna put his shit on blast like that. Because, in the words of Kelly Rowland in Survivor, my mama taught me better than that. So I'm just gonna tell him, have a blessed life. I'm gonna get mine. Make sure you get yours. And we keep it moving, because this is a business. And you have no time to be bringing up on petty shit. Not when there's coin to be made. Miss Del Rio taught me that the best. Oof. And then there are those days when you look in the mirror and you go, jokingly, why the hell do I do this to myself? Your skin's raw, bumpy, stinging. You're sleepy, you're tired, you're fatigued. Haven't eaten all day because you've spent the whole day sewing, trying to get a look together for unruly gay boys who want to touch hair, touch face. For those of you gay men who are watching this, gay men, gay boys, all alike, if you go up to a drag queen, also tell your drunk straight girls this that you bring to the bar as well. Never touch a queen's face. That is cardinal rule number 1 when approaching a drag queen. I like to refer to those who know Harry Potter, I refer to drag queens as hippogriffs. You have to bow to us before you approach us, because we might claw your ass apart. Don't touch our face. Just say, hey girl, how you doing? Don't sloppily try to throw your arm around us. Just be nice and walk up like a human being, because that's what we are at the end of the day. At the end of the day, we're human beings. We're clowns in dresses, but we're human beings. And just say, hey, how you doing? It's the quickest way to get to a drag queen's heart, is to be like, good, how are you? It's not that difficult.
Is it, to you, understandable or not understandable that people will not treat a drag queen as a person when they meet them?
Depending on the drag queen, it could be a lot to take in. I know I've had some of those looks before where I'm just like, whoa, I wouldn't approach me either. It also doesn't help if you're sitting there looking like a bitch. Then yeah, I wouldn't approach you either. You may be a human, but you're a bitchy human. Human, drag queen, gay, straight, whatever. If you're an asshole, you're a fucking asshole. And nobody wants to talk to you. That's what I believe in. I can deal with crazy because I myself am crazy. I come from a whole line of crazy. You can cope with crazy. And I will say this, first impressions are always a bitch. I've ruined first impressions with a lot of people before because they've caught me on an off day where I just was not having any of it. And they've seen me the next, 9 times out of 10, they'll approach me the next week and be like, hey, so I said this, I came up to you the other night and you did this, that, and the other. I was like, I'm sorry, babe. You caught me on a bad day. That is my fault. Here's a drink ticket on me. Go get yourself a drink. Because I don't like to come off as a bitch. But there are those days when people just really love to try your patience. I mean, that's the world, but...
What's going on in those days? What's going on in those days?
It could be a numerous amount of different things. Stupid-ass group text messages that don't make sense. Audition didn't go right. got some bad news from home. Stuff that really hits the personal aspect of life. You're just way far behind than what you needed to do in your day, and you can't seem to pick it up. And sometimes you just can't rally and be the happy-go-lucky person that everybody wants you to be. I understand we're the entertainment, but underneath all this makeup, we still do shit outside of this. And life can be just as hard sometimes, if not harder.
Was there a big difference for you coming out as gay versus coming out as drag queen, so to speak?
It never, coming out as a drag queen was, well, hell, let's be honest. As far as I am concerned, when I came out as gay, which, did I actually have a good coming out story? No, it was pretty much implied back home that I was a big old homo. Drag just kind of came with the territory. I've always been very, very effeminate. And it's not like anybody who knows me can't say that they didn't see it coming. Well, hell, I didn't see it coming until I started making that money. Then I said, well, let the gigs roll in. But if I had to choose, it would probably be coming out as gay. I was never also one of those kids who tried to hide the fact that he was gay. I just kind of was myself, which is kind of funny because myself is gay. So, how are you going to hide that? I'm not saying I walked around in like extra tight jeans and was like, hey girl, yeah. No, that wasn't me. And well, not in Missouri. Hell, that ain't me now. Give me a pair of nice harem pants and a loose fucking shirt and call it a day. And then again, that's the dancer in me. Loose, flowy clothes that you can dance in. What was I doing? Oh, yeah. But yeah, it pretty much was implied, especially in high school. Nobody ever had to ask me. They just knew. Which I could take as an insult, but I won't. Because I look at those pictures from back then and I go, wow. You were a little gaby. And then as soon as I moved to New York City, forget about it. I was wearing makeup, the tightest jeans I could find. My eyebrows were arched to the high heavens. I was like, now that that's out of my system, let's turn into a human being. And it's so funny because I just look like a bald-headed black woman. That was back when my skin was actually good. I was young. I'm still young, but younger. But this is what drag does to you. Your skin.
What do you do if your skin screws up? You just cover it up?
Be more specific as to the problem of the skin, because I can probably tell you what I do. I try to take good care.
If you have a gig coming up and your skin is freaking out.
Oh, you just do what you got to do. Contour a little darker. Just shave down. instead of down and up. There are numerous things you can do. Especially on days like today when I've had like a full beard. Shaving it off, it's not bad. But if I have like a gig today, and then tomorrow, and then the next day, I don't see how those queens do it. I would cry. Because my skin's sensitive enough as it is.
How many gigs of drag do you do a week?
Fluctuates. Sometimes I only have Real Deal at Wednesdays, and then there'll be days where I'll do like Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. And those days off where I don't have to do it are the days that I cherish, because my face can have a break. Put it away already? Oh.
Did you go any particular places to learn about makeup and hair and...
I pretty much did what a lot of queens do. You start off experimenting. I tell girls who just literally stare in my face and are like, oh my God, how did you do your eyeshadow, blah, blah, blah. Your face is a canvas. The best thing about it is, at the end of the day, you can wash the makeup off if you don't like what you see. And so, I went through experimenting with different things. Oh, so many different things. Some spot on, some not so much. As a matter of fact, I was looking at pictures, old pictures of me on Facebook, saying, what in the actual hell was what fantasy was I feeling at this point in time? Oh no. And then there are moments when you almost run out of foundation. Oh! So you have to get nifty. What's that? And also, as far as like makeup goes, it's one of those things where if you've learned everything that there is to know about drag makeup, you can hang up your wig because you're done. You've lived your life. I'm constantly learning new things. Some things I like, some things I don't. It's all about doing what works for your face.
Something about RuPaul's Drag Race and what you think about it / your experience with it.
It's a fun show to watch.
Did you audition for it?
I auditioned one season, and when I realized that they wanted everything but your blood type, I said, this is my last time doing this. I could be writing a song in a musical that I'm working on with the amount of time that I've been spending on this. And that's when my mom's voice pops into my head. You didn't come here to be a famous drag queen. While I know if I were to ever get onto RuPaul's Drag Race, yes, it would help me, you know, further my fame in spots that I wanted to work on as far as, like, you know, theater and this, that, and the other goes. But I want to work hard and say that I did it myself, not to be resting on somebody else's back or somebody else's name. I wanted to be William, not William, or, as you may know her, Jada from RuPaul's Drag Race. Because then it makes me feel like I didn't work hard for it. I know a lot of girls are going to be pissed about that, but...
What, do you think it's a problem that there are less talented people coming out of that show that are stealing the spotlight?
I don't think it's a problem. At the end of the day, you do what you do. No two drag queens are the same. I'm sorry. I learned, this is some of the best advice that I got from Bianca Del Rio. No two drag queens are the same. Even the most, like, prestigious dance queens, no two queens are the same. We all bring something different to the table. We're like snowflakes. Like, what you bring is going to be completely different from what I bring. So you can't be focused on the other girl. Focus on what you know to do best. Some girls give looks. Some girls kick. Some girls split. Some girls are funny. Some sing live.
Do you do that ever, sing live?
Oh yeah, I do it frequently. Well, just recently, because I made a promise to myself. That was actually kind of like my New Year's resolution, that I would sing more in drag, sing live more in drag. Because not a lot of people, I didn't realize it, but not a lot of people knew that I could sing. So the first time that I actually wound up singing live, everyone was just like, is that canned? Did she sing that live? Yes. Yes, she did.
Are you going to be doing it at the Ritz?
Tonight?
Not necessarily.
Oh, I've done it at the Ritz before.
Oh, okay.
If we're having that party on the second floor, I might be singing live. Shady. No, but it's just one of those things where I go, okay, yes, you're a drag queen, but don't lose who you are. And I is a singer. Not just a singer, I'm a performer. If you can't tell by now, I'm currently getting ready to go in for a callback for The Lion King tonight.
You rolling? Yeah. Okay.
Whoa.
That's when Niecy sold out.
Who is this?
This is Niecy Williams. With Denise Williams.
So you wouldn't be, if you were to work on Broadway, you wouldn't be doing drag?
I'd still be doing it every once in a while, because I'd still have to have that balance of, you know, still being able... I'd be doing somebody else's work still on Broadway, so I would still need that creative outlet. I just wouldn't be going and partying as hard, because being an actor, you only get one body.
Is it rough to be in that club setting?
What do you mean?
Like, for instance, at the Ritz, now that you're going to be there tonight until, what, 4 in the morning or something like that? I mean,
it's also one of those things where it depends on the day. Today I told you I went soul cycling and then went and changed and walked 20, 30 blocks to go see my friend in a Broadway show. And then had a dance rehearsal. But it's one of those things where I can only say, only time will tell. If I start getting a little, then I'll be like, can I have a Red Bull, please? Drink my little Red Bull and keep it moving. That's all you can do. Oh, there we go. And these are the voices that I hear every single day. And then I realize they have to listen to me every day, so that's twice as worse.
who are your idols? Not necessarily drag idols, just idols.
I was about to say, I don't really have any drag idols. I don't really play into that. I was like, you're a man in a dress, just like me. I mean, if I had one, it would obviously be my girl, Bianca, because she's so humbling, and she's so sweet. And she's like family to me, because we work together. I've spent New Year's with her. I spent, not this past Christmas, but last year's Christmas with her. And she's just a good time. She's a good person. But as far as idols go, of course, Beyonce. My mother. Talk about a strong black single woman who raised an 8-year-old by herself. That's saying something. My theater teacher, Sherry Kaufman. That woman invested so much in me. And the woman who actually owns this building, Miss Rose Kiola. She is one of the sweetest, most genuine, most amazing, powerful women that I have ever come across in my life. My mom goes, you only have 3 moms. And you know I don't normally say that because you came out of me. But my theater teacher and Rose. I think it's because of Rose that I still have not gone home yet. Because she's made it possible. If I'm like ever having a bad time, she's right there to help me get through it. She's like, you're too talented to go home. And those 3 women right there alone have affected me in ways that it's experience that you can't get from anywhere. And I'm so blessed to have, obviously, my mom. So blessed to have her in my life. But I'm so blessed to have met these other women in my life who have helped me out so much. and believe in me enough to give me a chance and help me out in any way that they can.
These are also the people you would like to make proud?
That's about it. They're the only women I care to make proud. That's why I work for Rose now. It was like, I love working with her. I love working for her. She's such a positive force. A positive businesswoman. Positive mother. Positive wife. She's like amazing. She's just amazing. And then you got my mom, who, well, hell, let's face it, she raised my crazy ass. And those who know me know I am a lot to handle. And she got through all 26 years. Hopefully we'll be going on to 27, God willing, of raising me. And she's now confident enough to be like, you got this. And if you need help, you know where to find me. That's the relationship I have with my mom. And then you've got my theater teacher, who's also, like I said, another mom. There were days, way back when, I was homeless for 2 days. And that woman called me every single day to make sure. I was like, she offered to send me money. I was like, well, you can't send me money because I don't have any, I'm not staying anywhere.
That was here?
Yep. On the 72nd Street park bench for 2 days until my mom could gather up enough money to get me home.
So that was before you moved here?
Yeah, it was like in between places, and it's one of those things where it just didn't work out. I called it my first test.
Oh, so you did attempt to move here once
Mm-hmm.
before?
And I just had really, typical story, shitty roommates. And I was like, well, I'm going to go back home, reboot. That's when I moved back home to choreograph Cats and did a production of Chicago. And directed a production of For Colored Girls Who've Considered Suicide When the Rainbow Is Enough. No student. Oh, and I also did 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, which was a fun show. And it was at that point when I was wrapping up these shows, I got a call from a company that I had worked with before, asking me to come to their other location and do the same show that I did at their other location. So I packed up my stuff and I went to Florida. I did the show. My mom came to visit. God, it's like every time my mom visits, there's something going on at home. So she visited this time, and she goes, we lost the house. My closing night party at Rent. She flies out, have a good time. She's like, we lost the house. So here I am at my closing party. Like, okay, what are we going to do? What's our next move? I finish out the contract. I go home. I pack up all my stuff. And we didn't have the house for that long. I thought this is where she was going to be. That was it. I painted the room because I always wanted a blue room. We went paint shopping. I bought paint, like specific blue paint. I painted my room. I was like, yes, I finally have a blue room. She comes to Florida and tells me, we lost the house. I was like, is it ever gonna get easier for us? Just once I would like for something to work out. Get home, I pack, I get ready, at that point I look at her and I go, I'm going back to New York. And when I do, I'm not coming back. And she's like, I won't be able to help you get back this time. I was like, you don't have to worry about it, because I'm not coming back. And she loves telling the story too, because literally, I haven't been back except to visit. And that was over 3 or 4 years ago. Proud of myself. That's another thing that keeps me going. I say I'm not going back. I refuse to go back. I refuse to step back. Which is why anytime there's some drama going on or whatever, it's minuscule compared to what I've actually been through. But I can honestly say I've grown from it as a person, as a queen. It's humbled me in a lot of ways. And I've been very happy with my life since then. It's not to say that there aren't those days where I just want to pick up things and throw them, but we all gotta get through it.
Switch batteries real quick. Okay.